The war criminal Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, just submitted an official request to the Israeli president so that he can get pardoned. No more court cases, no more corruption, no more charges, no more anything. Benjamin Netanyahu has 3 ongoing cases 1,000, 2,000, and 4,000 that relate to matters concerning corruption, security, and influence in the Israeli media, including bribery. For several years, the Israelis have been divided on this case. Many people call for Benjamin Netanyahu to resign. Many of his political allies previously refused to have any coalitions with him because of these cases. And there's been a growing call amongst many in Israel for Benjamin Netanyahu to resign. So when is this coming by Benjamin Netanyahu officially? It's coming after multiple actions that were taken by the American president, Donald Trump. Clearly coming at least some sort of a request by Benjamin Netanyahu. However, Donald Trump found a balance where he can influence and use leverage with Benjamin Netanyahu and advance certain things in the region, such as the so-called ceasefire and other naturalizations, or what he wants to call peace. Donald Trump initially started with a statement and also his speech in the Israeli Knesset that later developed to an official letter to the Israeli president so that he can pardon Benjamin Netanyahu, or the Israeli state can pardon Benjamin Netanyahu under the excuse of, it's causing division in the country and it's causing a lot of problems and Israel needs to move on because there are many important things about to happen. But now it has been none other than Benjamin Netanyahu himself asking for a pardon from the Israeli president. But the problem is, he didn't explicitly ask for a pardon. He said that the people should support him being pardoned. He had a letter that was combined with his solicitor, his lawyer, sent to the president, and also a televised statement, short televised statement, in which he stated that if it was up to him, he would go up until the end so he can prove to the whole world that he's innocent. But 3 times a week going to court hearings is too much. No one asked that from anyone. Why do you ask that from me? And we need to end this disunity in the country. We need to be united again. He ended up by saying that everyone should be supporting this pardoning. So, in effect, he's not outright admitting anything. Because if you want someone to pardon you, that means you're accepting liability or responsibility. Therefore, he didn't want to appear as the person asking for it, but create a half measure. Netanyahu likes these half measures, half ceasefire, half deal, whatever it is, so long as it can serve his interest. Although what he described as his interest is actually continuing with the case so that he can prove to everyone that he is an innocent individual. Now, many in Israel are not buying it. And as a matter of fact, there were multiple articles published in Israel saying that Netanyahu is essentially offering the justice system a mutual amnesty rather than him being granted amnesty or this pardoning, because they know that if this split continues in the state of Israel, Israel is going to be facing a very tough period with very, very heated elections, and the division is going to continue. And it didn't just stop, of course, with the commentators. The Israeli opposition, they outright asked the Israeli president not to pardon Benjamin Netanyahu. They said they would create a precedent. It would prove that certain people are above the law. And it's something that is very dangerous for the state of Israel. So many people don't want him to be pardoned or being granted this pardon by the Israeli president. So what is the Israeli president going to do exactly? Because a lot of it is up to the Israeli president. His role is becoming more important now. Usually the president role in Israel is very symbolic, bringing people together and official things, visits and what have you, but nothing to do with the actual decision making. It has nothing to do with that apart from like advice. But now he has a lot of power all of a sudden, and his office confirmed that he's not going to be subject, or he's not going to be influenced by any pressure that will be inevitably applied on him. But we're getting some more details. There are certain leaks. One of them was in the Israeli broadcasting, actually, that revealed the following. They said that he needs to be retiring from politics and he needs to halt the justice system reform. These are the conditions of the Israeli president. Again, it's not confirmed, but these are reports, and this is Israel's main broadcasting website. The president associates said in close discussions that Netanyahu will not accept a pardon without a significant price. The president's office said the discussion on the request has not yet begun. Netanyahu's entourage said in response, retirement from political life is not on the agenda. So what is going to happen exactly if retirement is not from the agenda? Well, again, another potentially half measure, which is retire for now. So as in have something symbolic, have a semi-retirement, but we can't ban you from going back to political life in the future. And that might work out just fine for Benjamin Netanyahu. Why? Well, Israel is on its way to elections, particularly in October 2026. But there have been many talks in Israel that the elections might be earlier. Netanyahu might decide to have these elections earlier. All of the political parties are preparing for the elections. The opposition is trying to gain momentum. Multiple parties are trying to cooperate and have more votes and are working on their campaigns, indicating that we are headed towards this period where Israel will be seeing the elections coming. And Netanyahu might actually delay certain things to do with accomplishments, whether it's in Gaza or with other countries too, for that period. And they might be very dangerous. So if Netanyahu goes ahead with this deal with the Israeli president, he can resign for a day or two or a couple of weeks or a couple of months. And he can tell everyone that, look, I even resigned from my position when I was serving, but now I can go back to politics because, well, no one can ban me from going back to politics. Then he would go back after conducting certain actions that would give him a boost in his popularity, and also have some sort of a psyop to turn this resignation as something that plays in his favor, because his crowd, his cult, will be saying, look, why did he do that? And look how far he did, and he sacrificed, and no, please, you're our savior, you're our Messiah. Please come back and lead the country. And then he can come back with these political campaigns to rule Israel once again. This scenario is very probable, but a lot of it depends on the actual formula that will be published by the Israeli president to grant Benjamin Netanyahu with this pardoning or amnesty.